Bienvenidos. Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the cultural dimensions of business and international relations. When we went on our trip in Paris and Madrid, Team U.A.E noticed a lot of differences in the way that companies advertise. In fact, we wanted to start looking at this through the cultural dimensions that we learned in class. And we started asking the question, why? It's true that businesses make very specific decisions on how they want to sell their products to their audience. Social considerations are crucial for the business to be successful in selling their product. In Paris and Madrid, different companies took different approaches in order to appeal to their audience. I'm going to hand it over to Rich for our first video.
So one of the advertisements that we found particularly interesting were those of airlines, specifically in Madrid and in Paris. Now when you watch an airline commercial, what do you see? What represents the airline? Airlines use flight attendants to really portray the service of their the quality of their service.
First, a video for Etihad Airways, the national airline of the United Arab Emirates. You observe a similar focus on female flight attendants. They are presented with a sense of elegance, yet they maintain clear professionalism. This reflects how the U.A.E culture values women.
Russia took a very different approach.
It is such a good night to kiss. It is such a good night to dance. It is such a good night to Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo, 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 love.
Because this is for a class, we couldn't show you the rest of this video, but we will talk about the airline. This company based their entire focus on raw sex appeal. They believe that this would reflect the greater audience's cultural beliefs and attitudes.
Let's take a look at how Air France employs sexuality in their commercial. As you can see, the sexuality of this commercial is far less explicit and does not objectify women. Air France chose to portray these specific gender roles because the French culture values men and women much more equally. Thus, it is effective and appropriate to show sexuality in a more romantic way in order to appeal to the values in the French culture.
Another example is seen in this Indian airline ad. The image draws the attention of the audience to the businesswoman. The emphasis is on business, professionalism, and most importantly, a clear, equal respect for men and women. This is congruent with the fact that Indian cultures traditionally hold a very powerful place for women in the family, and women are highly respected.
Lastly, we will look at an Iberia Airlines commercial and see how they choose to portray their specific gender roles.
In this commercial, you can see a plethora of people who are of varying ages and both genders enjoying the services of the airline. The commercial emphasizes that Iberia is child-friendly, flexible, and open to serve families.
As you can see, each of these ads have a distinct way of selling the same service. This is because each ad campaign caters to a specific culture. Were one of these ads employed on a culture other than that of the target audience, it would likely not be as successful for the business.
We've seen 5 examples of airline advertisement: France, Spain, the U.A.E, India, and Russia. All of these companies advertise their business through the image of their flight attendants. Each culture, however, that they're trying to appeal to has very different values and attitudes towards women. As a result, airline companies, as well as any company that's doing business internationally, has to cater their business model and their advertising campaign to those cultures. As a result, they make very specific decisions on how they advertise. So in conclusion, the advertisements actually reflect the cultural differences between these societies.